Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you enjoy today's content, please hit like and subscribe. And remember, no matter how good it is or how expensive it is, it's just whiskey, folks. Today we're going to be comparing two Glendronach 18-year-olds. One from the 2019 release and one from the 2020 release, the most recent one. Most people I know don't appreciate whiskey as much as I do, and I'm talking about people that are in my circle. If you pour them something that's non-peated, a bourbon or an Irish whiskey or an unpeated Scotch, most people will say it's smooth, and whether they like it, and maybe they'll say they like it or they don't like it. And as far as peated Scotch, a lot of people have already made up their mind that it's not for them. It's too pungent or whatever. And so I'm kind of in the same ballpark, although I'm more of a whiskey nut and collector, and I really enjoy the pursuit of scotches and whiskeys. But my palate and sense of smell, which I always thought were very good, pale in comparison to most of the whiskey tubers that are out there. And I am really astounded how a lot of these whiskey tubers can pick out the multitudes of smell and taste sensations. Because as much as I enjoy them, I can pick out a couple of notes, but I can't separate as much as the labels say. So anyway, let's talk about these two releases here. First, let's talk about the similarities. We have the 2019 release and the 2020 release. They're both 18-year-olds. The color. For my eyes, I cannot tell the difference at all with the color. I've held them out to natural sunlight, artificial light, put them in my sampling glasses, my Glencairns, and I cannot tell the difference in color at all. They're both non-chill filtered, and they're both natural color. They both have that chocolate-covered cherry cordial smell and taste to them. I had to really search for that, but I could identify that. They're both heavily sherried, and I can pick out cocoa notes on these, and they both finish with a bit of a very faint cigar juice to them, and they both have a medium to long finish, one more than the other, which we're going to talk about. I'm sure most of you have heard about the age chart, the Glendronach age chart. I went on Glendronach's official website and I couldn't find the much talked about age chart. But it's easy if you Google Glendronach age chart. It'll come right up, and I think most of you know what I'm talking about. And if you listen to just about any other whiskey tuber talking about Glendronach, most of them will mention the age chart. What I find interesting about the age chart is, supposedly, according to the age chart, the 2019 release is actually 24-year-old juice. And the 2020 release is actually 18-year-old juice. Now you would think that if this 2019 is in fact a 24-year-old juice, you would think the color would be a little darker than the 2019 release. Or you would think that the 2020 release, would be a little lighter. But they're both the same color. Let's get into the smell and taste of the 2019 release, which is supposedly 24-year-old juice. What I noticed from my point of view, the 2019 release on the nose has that sharp alcohol burn to it that really can raise your whiskers. And in my opinion, the finish on the 2019 is slightly longer and maybe it leaves me with a more woody bite to it in the finish that really stays with you. The 2020 release on the nose, I don't get that alcohol burn really at all. More of a inviting, softer nose to it. And the finish is smoother with really an undetectable woody bite to it. Other than that, they're both very similar. And maybe if I did this blind, they're almost indistinguishable, with the two notable differences. The 2019, more of an alcohol burn in the nose and more of that woody bite in the finish. And the 2020 has a more inviting nose, a more softer, sweeter, subtle nose to it, and it's gentler on the palate and gentler on a finish. If I had to pick one, to be honest with you, I would probably lean towards the 2020. It seems like a lot of the hype is calming down. The other thing I want to talk about was the price. They generally go for, in the United States, between $160 and $170. The 2019s are pretty much cleared off the shelves. Everyone's grabbed them, including me. I have a couple extra of the 2019 set aside. An interesting thing is, yesterday I went to my local favorite liquor outlet, and for some reason, the Glendronach 18-year-old, which was available just a couple of weeks ago for about $170, is now $200. So they jacked it up $30 just in the last few days. So maybe they're just catching up and hearing about the hype themselves. I don't know. Maybe there's more of a demand for it because of all the hype. But anyway, my final thoughts are they're both very good. Would I buy them again? These are going to last me a long time. As much as they are good, I'm in no hurry to run out and replace them or chase them again. But I will enjoy them, but it's going to take me a long time to get through these. So, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed my content, please hit like and subscribe. And remember, it's just whiskey, folks. So, hats off to you all, and thanks for tuning in.